Because look, if growth isn't falling apart, the base case always has to be bullish, especially on riskier assets that are designed to perform with growth, right? Because if your base case is bearish, better said this way, the economy is growing more than it's shrinking over the long run. So your base case has to be bullish on growth assets. Now, if growth impulses or growth isn't showing a material decline, you have to lean more bullish. So like you said, yeah, just the stagnant growth impulses, as long as they're in slowdown territory, doesn't necessarily mean that the economy needs to really shrink. It just means that those high flying risk on growth impulses aren't present, which means, act cautiously or more reserved, but you could still act. You don't have to be completely taken off the playing board. You could still throw chips down. You just got to be very careful on how you bet and bet accordingly.
Yeah, because it is pretty easy to go from slowdown to deflation. Like it's really one headline away in this
Market,
climate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty rough. So it's very important to be nimble and staying allocated into assets that give you safety even if you do get that dip into a deflation territory, and that would be like safe assets like healthcare, utilities, consumer staples, like those kind of things, which they do well in slowdowns. They do all right in expansion. Like everything moves up in expansion. You're just not going to move up as much as the NASDAQ or the SPY would be moving, but at least you wouldn't be losing money. And if deflation ends up being the next regime, everything gets smoked except those safer holdings. So that's really that kind of the smarter play to do in this current environment.
Yeah, and the one caveat for Nasdaq risk assets, right, is like how we were just mentioning earlier, Bitcoin losing mid-vamp, which it could very well retrace this within a day, even a couple hours. It's now impossible. Nasdaq has also been holding mid-vamp or has held mid-vamp after going bullish trend. So this is and look at it today, literally pretty much the tick off of mid-vamp. So as long as we're above mid-vamp here, the base case, it's in a bullish trend, should be sideways to higher. The only reason we are not long NASDAQ at the moment is the regime signal is not confident that we are in a high flying risk on regime. And because we utilize 3 times leverage, it doesn't make sense for us to leverage up on whims.